how do you behave when you come across a negative feedback? And most of us, every day, we hear such a feedback, right? Agree with me? Yes. So how do you handle such a feedback? It is not a feedback all the time, it is a comment also. So when you hear a negative comment, you feel angry, right? Um, but what can you do about it? Can you do something? Because people have their own idea. It is a reflection of their own thoughts. It is not. It has nothing to do with you. But we get affected, right? Because when it comes, we are not prepared. We do not. We actually don't expect people to comment in that way. But is it not that we also become effortless in our comments for other people? So the same way things happen. They don't realize or they don't have anything in their mind. It is just a reflexive action. Some people have that habit, and many of us have that habit, and it comes, spontaneously, nothing to do with you. But this is something very difficult to digest, and we normally get upset over that. Even if our interpretation is in a negative way, then also it becomes very hurtful to us. It doesn't necessarily imply negativity, but it can happen and nobody can help. But in case you have a negative feedback and it is a proper negative feedback, and you know it is a negative feedback, then turn it into a 90 days goal. Now you will say, what? A negative feedback into a 90 days goal? Well, why not? Because what is that negative feedback is about? It is about something you didn't do or didn't do according to expectation, right? So then then what is the expectation? What do you do in that case? Just you have to improve, right? Not because they have said something, but if you realize that you haven't done as per your potential, then you start thinking, right? You create your own thing, prove them wrong, and do it your way. So the first thing in this process is feel and experience the entire thing step by step. First is accept that you have a negativity. Identify that negativity in you. First. Second is create your own interpretation. Not that hurtful interpretation that you just did, but something which will be beneficial to you, like it should be a blessing. How do you do that? Suppose somebody says you are not very careful in doing something. So that is a negative feedback. Now what will be the blessing in that? Because you are not very bothered about the details of something, you are not detailed, and because you are not detailed, you normally forgive people easily. Now, people who are very serious, very particular, very detailed, they won't be able to forgive. So it comes as a package. Your package is that. So this is a blessing. Now you cannot just ignore it, thinking it like a blessing. It is your blessing, that is true, but turn it into a 90 days goal by being detailed. How do you improve whatever you have done? Where did you produce some lousy work, right? So That is the reality, right? That is why you receive this negative feedback. And it can be partly true also. It doesn't matter. But you can be your own 90 days goal achiever. What will you gain from this exercise? There are very impressive things that you can gain from this, because by nature you are inwardly, because you forgive, you don't see grievous some kind of fallout in people, you can forgive people, you see their broad-mindedness, you see a greater possibility in them. These are all blessings that you have. Now, if you have that kind of nature, then setting a 90 days goal to be detailed will make you more inwardly, more focused. And that is what you will gain. And when you become more focused, you will see the grand picture of everything around you. Now, everybody cannot see that. But if you are this person who has this trait, then he also has the blessing of realizing this big picture very quickly. Observe that situation in you. That is a very blissful situation. Normally, every soul, every person, every personality essentially is a blissful soul. That is what we hear people, very spiritual people say. Now, you can experience that in your everyday life. Mind you, everything comes in a package. If you are accepting that package, you are expecting both sides of yourself. And nobody can escape this. If you have a very good quality, you have a bad quality as well. But how do you turn that bad quality into your blessing is your skill. Now, these are the new thoughts that you are installing inside you. Which thought you will take inside, in what quantity and what intensity is your choice. You can vary this and install it inside. That is the next step. Make a choice. Make a choice of which thought, in what quantity, what intensity is your choice, and do that. The next is, and the most important is, consolidate the idea. So earlier, anything that you have done, along with that, if this new thing can be integrated, it consolidates one earlier effort. It becomes a story, part of your story. It becomes a success story. It becomes a progress report. It becomes so many other things also. It becomes a learning in that case. And that is how you turn it into a 90 days goal. After 90 days, you can think of the negative feedback that you have received, and as a result of that, what all you have achieved in your career, your mindset in last 90 days, it will give you an unbelievable, immensely deep feeling, deep thought, deep bliss, and deep sense of peace inside within you. And then it doesn't matter what the other person is thinking. You'll be able to see the bigger picture, and then nothing matters, nothing else matters. You'll see everything else dissolving, because you are inwardly peaceful, joyful, and that is what a real winning is. Hope you will enjoy this. And this one I call as the iconic model. If you are a person of brilliance, then you are iconic. And this is the process of creating an iconic identity within you. Hope you enjoy this, and I would be waiting for your comments under the video. And if you like this, then please give a comment, some kind of comment. I am uploading this into the YouTube as well. It will come tomorrow as a part of some learning. So just give it a deep thought, and yes, that is what I am looking for. Thank you for watching.